Good. All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is the further readings of the Council of Seven Lights, written in 1958 by George Van Tassel. And this chapter should prove interesting. I just looked at the title. The chapter title is The False Chariot. Shall we? The false chariot. You must understand that the substance you call your body is very much like the body of an automobile. The chassis on which the substance forms is the eternal part of you. You can lose a limb or smash the body, and the chassis of your reality continues on. In physical level requirements, your material body is of an animal nature, structure, following the form of eternal man and the essence of your real self. This material structure is given life by the fact that the forms of crystals within the bloodstream are the powerhouse of your every motion. These microscopic crystals in the blood diffuse, refract, and reflect the positive, negative light passing through you continuously. These crystals often become neutral. They lose their power like a magnet. Each of these crystals is polarized and carries polarity in opposition. This brings about the flow of your blood through light energy. Many times, as these crystals neutralize, they will settle in the feet. This is the reason for the ancient teachings concerning the position of standing on the head to circulate these crystals that have become neutral. The heart is caused to function by the circulation of the blood instead of vice versa. The heart serves only as a valve to keep the circulation going in one direction. The structure of arteries is such that the cellular and atomic composition brings about a positive force upon the crystals in the bloodstream. The veins are such that negative force of light energy functions through them. Being of animal structure, man in the physical body requires crystals of an animal nature. Various refractory crystals found in animal foods are not reproduced by vegetation. The history of the mechanics of motion throughout the universe is locked in crystals. The records of all that is, all that was, and ever shall be are concealed in the frequencies of various elements known and unknown in their crystal perfection. Life is only given motion through various particles of matter in many forms. As the Bible tells you, the blood is the light. It transmits and circulates light energy into substance form of animal nature, which conforms to the pattern of man's real form. The flesh fills the real body, although the real body extends beyond the skin boundaries of the physical. As you are born in this form, called the physical body, your instant beginning in this level was brought here in the seed, or the control master cell through the infinite G line of light force. This control master cell was the beginning of your physical body. Under the functions of the control master cell, there are many other master cells. These master cells compose each one a center, the beginning of your vital organs and glands. The brain is a gland. The control master cell is the essence of form. It is subject to absorption of characteristics from both the male and female parents. The consciousness of being is the center of the control master cell, maintaining the records of all previous lives and experiences in other levels. As these cells grow, bringing from a seed the form, controlled by the absorption of the control master cell, each child is endowed with good and bad traits of both parents. The seed, which came over the infinite line of force, contained none of the parents' characteristics. As this control master cell gives instructions, each master cell comes to attention in the proper position in the body, like a well-regimented army, all officers. No work ever got done in that army, I'm sure. Just joking, God, just joking. All right. Each of these officer master cells gathers recruits from the atomic substance in the A and B lines of force and develops each their own individual portion of the physical body. This continues until so-called death on this level. Roughly every 7 years, these master cell intelligences, centering the organs and glands, are relieved by other officers. Roughly every 28 years, the control master cell is relieved by another, better, qualified, and more mature line. The secret of long life is in the ability, through consciousness, to control the change of these control master cells. Some people have assumed that the mind of individuals is in the head, because through progressive conditioning, they have been led to believe that the brain is the control of the mind. The mind is infinite and universal. The mind is not confined within the body. In observing with the third eye, or the consciousness of your positive polarity vision, do not assume that the ability of this particular awareness is located anywhere within the physical body. Those who concept of this vision is from the pineal gland area will naturally seem to focus in that area. Actually, your consciousness of individual being is all over your body. And in any particular experience is concentrated at the point of greatest sensation. If you smash a toe and the toe hurts, that is the point at which your greatest concentration of consciousness is recorded. The consciousness of your individual being moves with your emotion. It flares with various ones of these emotions and recedes with others. Mind, being universal, is all through you, and you are in it. Your consciousness is the doorway to universal mind. The scope of your consciousness can be increased with practice. Because you observe ahead of you with your negative polarity, physical vision, you assume to look ahead of you with your inner vision. This is limiting your scope. A particular time to practice the expansion of your consciousness awareness is when you retire at night. When you close your eyes, do not attempt to concentrate a light or your positive vision at the center of the forehead. Attempt to penetrate into the blackness, into the very depths with your projective inner vision. Look into the darkness. Focus deeply and further away. It is possible with practice to focus your inner vision as you do your physical vision. Attempt to extend your inner vision. Penetrate further and further each night into the darkness. If you are outside observing the stars, try to look beyond the stars. In the spaces between them, attempt to see another star, where none can be seen with your limited physical vision. This practice with the physical vision will also expand the inner vision. With constant and regular practice, you should be able, within a 6-month period, to throw the limits of your forward vision out. You should expand your inner vision and to cover 360 degrees, as see as well behind as ahead, or to either side. The limits of your forward physical vision are not applicable to the inner vision. The nightly practice will reveal to you that many things are within the scope of your inner vision, and your mind concept enlarges. Your consciousness penetrates with your attempt to extend your inner vision, and you grasp more of what mind is. What is life? What is light? Who is God? Where is heaven? These and many other questions are asked by numerous people daily. Wherever there is life, there is light. And wherever there is light, there is God. I'll drink to that. Orthodoxy preaches that God is of male gender, saying he or him. This implication gives to the Creator sex. The single one is an iti, composed of unaccountable entities. The creator is a power of infinite, boundless eternity. Wherever life manifests motion, there is soul in polarity opposition. Wherever life manifests motion and consciousness, there is spirit intelligence present as a part of the creative mind. Dimensional aspects of individuals and densities leads to spiral inclinations of finer levels of light. You are all sitting in God, breathing God in, and he or she or it is manifesting life in physical form through his right hand of positive polarity and his left hand of negative polarity. In between the unaccountable billions of lines of light energy passing through you, there, scientifically, is God, insulating the oppositely polarized light energies from each other. Centering your consciousness individually, there is the staff of light and life eternal. Though God is still the opposite light energies are in motion, when you move any muscle, light energy is the motive power. Light energy functions through the spirit. The single one is universal spirit, unseen, potent, supreme intelligence, composed of innumerable individual minds. When you record through any sense of smell, touch, taste, sight, hearing, thought, or being, it is the spirit of you that records the action. The substance of flesh is inert to sensing. The conscious mind of God is yours to use like a universal library, but each must enter through his individual door to read the records. Perhaps that's the Akash. Mundane philosophies, scientific theories, or religious beliefs do not serve as keys to enter God's house. You each must individually open your own door. And when you do, you will discover first that you were inside all the time, but were not aware of it. Few people who attend church understand the beginning of the church. The church buildings today are patterned after an ancient worship. Man and woman originally assumed they had reached a state of being part of God in the ultimate in the physical body when the woman gave birth to a child. The man and the woman considered they had performed a creative act. This is the primary urge of all creation, to recreate. The understanding of the people was that two things entered into the act of recreation. The male and female were essential to birth. In the time of the ancients, religious worship was conducted in the open. The ancient rites were conducted where a large rock pointed heavenward, symbolizing the projective male, and where another rock presented a cleavage, representing the female. These phallic rites were conducted in reverence, although modern history would lead us to believe that they were sex orgies. The rites were worship in the most sincere form. The church buildings today still present the spire to heaven as the symbol of the projective male. The double open doors still represent the cleavage, the receptive opening of the female. Modern society does not understand sex and its relation to religion. They cannot be separated. The act of bringing a child to birth is not the part of the parent's choice. It is the choice of the child that brings it to birth through the parent. Although many would try to prevent having children, those who are qualified will have children in spite of themselves. Throughout history, sex has been mentioned more than any other subject. The Bible is full of it. Everyone wants to be in on the act because it is the natural, conductive method of recreation. Naturally, when any predominant thought is brought forth, there is always opposition. Those who oppose the recreative act choose to isolate themselves and become ascetics. This is their choice, because primarily they do not feel responsible for bringing new life from the old. Many of these so-called masters that have isolated themselves from society are fakes. They are escapists. They are looking for a way out of the responsibilities of life. They have no reverence toward anything, although they would present a front to make others believe that they are sacred people. Throughout the universe, birth is a privilege of parents. It is the proof manifest that they are qualified to recreate with the Creator. Recreation is the eternal progression of creation. Science is the art of measuring the ever-changing progression. The sciences, converted to the destruction of today, will only result in a disaster that will be a lesson for the future. Now, this is the part where I customarily, in the previous chapters, I'd switch on the little voice effect, give it a male, deep male voice, or a female voice, but I've since realized that I felt like I was probably offending our Creator in some way by doing that, because I was trying to illustrate, that our source Creator, the infinite intelligence beyond gender specifics, but then I realized, God put the light bulb in my mind's eye, my third eye, that, hey, just use your own voice. Don't rely on artifice. Don't try to be fancy. Just rely on the own inner dwelling spark of the divine, and just use your own voice, Marcus. That's what Source said to me. So we're going to do that. O mortals, cast in density of form, I center the light to guide your way. My light is not seen by those who observe only the density of figure. Neither can I violate the laws I have made in the wisdom of my eternal ways. I cannot but stay at rest with you, hoping that the best will reach for me, that I may bring your perception into the light. Man closes doors, man hides himself. He binds himself to possessions of dust, not realizing all is lost to him and lost to me. For only by the progression of thee do I progress. My parts are scattered throughout my boundless being. I move in many ways to fashion my completeness. Each part shall find the resurrection in me, though the time is recorded in the records lost in space. My eternity is only complete in the patience of myself in thee. And so I wait within, with the knowing that my beginnings never end. O man, in the ever-changing pattern of my thoughts, I bring my creatures into being. And seeing motion all about, never doubt that I am there. For I am motion, change, and time, so that my rhyme of repetition may cycle all my parts. Your eyes reach out to see the stars, not realizing each has stars within. Though sin may barricade your way to me, change will be your sword to rend the veil, and I shall hail you in the victory over self. Though my time is not to me, time to you is meant to be a gauge to register progression in my ways. Motion is the me in thee, O man, to manifest a change, so that in time you may escape the rhyme of rebirth, repetitions, and be timelessly the peaceful thought of me eternally. Well, I think I've used too much coffee. But anyway, no, that was, I think that, let's see, that may have been the last chapter. Let's see. Yeah, so that concludes George Van Tassel's book, The Council of Seven Lights. That was complete. I've read all 10 chapters, made little videos about them. I don't know. That on YouTube, where, thank Creator for YouTube, roughly, it was last year sometime that that Council of Seven Lights, I'd say it was like around last August or September of last year, when basically that was right around the time what that last paragraph said, source, me and thee, when you overcome the self, that was my time. That's when I vanquished. That's when I was in the desert and came out, put, my 40 days resisting every, effort to throw me off my path. So anyway, that's when this Council of Seven Lights showed up in my YouTube feed, and I'm not sure, there may be different versions, but roughly reading that brings back to mind when I first started hearing this. There's a squirrel right there. They just stop and they stare and they look in my window, and he's looking at me right now, and he's like, and they shake. I think squirrels. Anyway, he's still staring at me. It's uncanny. He's just looking right in my window, staring at me. Anyway, pervert. So where was I? Oh yeah. So Council of Seven Lights. And when I heard that, I was in a trance listening to it, because it was just it spoke with such authority, and the knowledge that it was revealing, and everything just made perfect sense. Intuitively, we all have this intuitive function, our truth compass, our moral compass, what have you. And I just knew every word that I was hearing, every word was the truth. And I hope whomever is listening to this series, have gotten something out of it. Like I said, if you leave some way I can send you this PDF copy if anybody's interested or whatnot. I got mine off of Scribd, SCRIBD. So you can probably find there's probably a PDF copy. It was written in 1958, so I'm not sure if it's still part of, or if it's part of public domain or how that works. But anyway, that was fun. And that squirrel's still out there. Anyway, namaste, everybody. Namaskar.